Building a software company is nothing like just building software. You can write clean code, deploy daily, and still end up with a company that goes nowhere, because success in this space isn't just about tech, it's about business. So in this video, I'll walk through the 5 business principles that every software founder needs to understand, whether you're starting from scratch or scaling up your first real team. I'm Josh, software exec, former startup founder and consultant, and on this channel, we crack open the secrets of the software industry. So I've led engineering teams, I've built tech products, and helped companies turn ideas into real working systems. And I've seen a lot of founders make the same mistakes, over-investing in code and under-investing in validation and thinking that good software automatically equals good business. So these 5 tips will help you avoid that trap and build a company that actually lasts. So the first tip is to validate the problem, not the product. Most founders start by asking, what should we build? But the better question to be asking is, what problem hurts enough that people will pay to solve it? You don't need code to validate a problem. You need to have conversations, right? Talk to 20 potential users. Ask what their pain points cost them in time, in money, and in frustration. If you're starting with the product, you're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. And that's not to say it's impossible with a big enough marketing budget and the right targeting. But if you can't describe the pain clearly, you'll end up building a beautiful solution that nobody needs. So before you spin up AWS or write your first line of code, make sure you've proven that there's a problem worth solving. The second tip is to sell before you scale. Right? So here's the harsh truth. Your startup doesn't fail when the code breaks. It fails when the money does. The best founders start selling before the product even exists. Right? They get letters of intent or pilot customers or even pre-orders, because if you can't sell the idea, you won't sell the product. You don't need thousands of users. What you need is a handful of committed ones who will pay, test, and give real feedback. That's what's called your proof of life. If you start building and investing before the sales come, you're just building debt. You're not building collateral. Better to have a sales funnel to fulfill the users than a product with no users. Tip number 3 is to build systems, not just software. Okay, so a software company isn't just code. It's a system of people and processes and feedback loops. And that means thinking about operations really early, right? How do features get prioritized? Who talks to customers? What happens when something breaks at 2 a.m.? Even at just 3 people, you're building systems. If you ignore that, you end up firefighting instead of scaling up. So you need to make sure you're designing systems intentionally, right? A clear development workflow, a clear customer feedback channel, a clear and data-driven way to decide what matters next, right? The companies that win, they don't just ship, they repeatedly ship the right things. Right? It's easy to do something once. It's really hard to do it reliably with the same quality hundreds of times in a row. And that's the difference between a job and a hobby. The 4th tip is to know your unit economics really early on. Most technical founders avoid spreadsheets like they avoid meetings. But your financial model is part of the product, right? You need to know, how much does it cost to acquire a customer? How much do they pay? How long do they stay? Those numbers are going to tell you whether you have a business or just an expensive hobby. Rough estimates do help. If your cost to acquire users is $200 and your lifetime value is $180, you're not scaling, you're losing and leaking money. So you have to treat your business metrics like you treat a bug tracker, right? Constantly review it, constantly iterate on it, and constantly improve on it. And tip number 5 is to build a team, not a dependency chain. So what does that mean? It means the moment your company grows past the just you phase, the product becomes a team sport. Great founders aren't just hiring. You want people who can own problems, not just complete the tasks. That means things like documenting their knowledge, sharing the context, making their decisions visible. If the company only works when you do, you don't have a business. You have a job with extra steps. So you need to build a team that can execute without you in every meeting. That's how you can scale impact and not just workload. And I know it seems counterintuitive in some ways, right? Saying you want the team to be able to run without you, aren't you making yourself kind of redundant, right? You're no longer needed. People want to feel important naturally. But that's the real test of a company, is if it can stand on its own 2 feet on its own. Plus, then you can sit back and you can get all the rewards. So to recap, validate the problem, not the product. Sell before you scale. Build systems, not just software. Know your numbers, and build a team that can run without you. So there we have it. That's the 5 tips for building and scaling a successful software company. If you found that helpful, please like the video. If you're building a software company, which of these 5 are you focusing on now? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos on software in the tech industry, follow along with the channel. There'll be more coming soon.